The name of the Yama Tsukami may come from the Japanese word Yamatsu, meaning god of the mountain. Yama means mountain, tsu being added to the name of gods in Japanese mythology, and kami meaning god. The YouTuber Gaijin Hunter has a video that goes more in depth into the Yama Tsukami's name, so I'll just leave a link to that in the description below. In the lore, this moss-covered hentai demon is a mysterious monster that does not fit any other monster category. Therefore, the Yama is classified as an elder dragon by default. This monster was introduced in Monster Hunter DOS for the PS2 and has only appeared in 2 other games, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite and Monster Hunter Frontier, with its first US appearance being in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. One notable appearance that the Yama has outside of these games is seen in the game Monster Hunter 4 and 4 Ultimate for the 3DS. In the game, you're able to make the Yama Tsukami's armor by trading monster parts to an NPC called the Waikun. Waikun can exchange monster materials that the player currently owns for materials of monsters which are not available to hunt in Monster Hunter 4 and 4 Ultimate. The Yama is often described as an octopus-like creature with moss or plant life growing on top of its body. It has 4 tentacle-like appendages with 2 large whiskers. The Yama also has human-like teeth that could prove challenging to even the world's greatest dentist. With these human-like teeth, the Yama is thought to be an herbivore, but don't get it twisted. The Yama is extremely dangerous, even being nicknamed the floating disaster, though its temperament may change after it feeds. Speaking of feeding, let's take a look at the Yama's in-game description. An elder dragon that floats through the sky, a bite of earth, a drink of forest. It's a veritable god of the sky, made of the richest soil. It's rumored to live near a forlorn and remote tower. The Yama Tsukami eats soil to plant life to just about anything that it can inhale. The Yama also has this strange ability to float like a balloon. It's unknown exactly how the Yama is able to float like this, but it may have something to do with its diet. The Yama may produce a type of hydrogen or helium from the soil and plant life that it consumes. Whatever's inside the Yama, it seems to benefit the great thunderbugs that the Yama shares a symbiotic relationship with. These great thunderbugs are able to live inside the Yama's body until fully grown. In return, the great thunderbugs defend the Yama Tsukami from any outside threats. These great thunderbugs even have the ability to explode at will. The Yama Tsukami is said to be one of the oldest monsters encountered by the player. But believe it or not, there may be a version of this monster even older. In the spin-off MMO, Monster Hunter Frontier, the Yama Tsukami has an origin species known as the Yama Kurai. Kurai, in this context, meaning dark, gloomy, or somber. Origin species are monsters that have inherited much more from their ancestors. These monsters keep many primitive characteristics their ancestors had, and are considered to be quite old species that may have even lived in ancient times. Origin species is an exclusive species only seen in Monster Hunter Frontier. Yama Kurai's body is overgrown with plant life, more so than its relative the Yama Tsukami. Their whiskers and tendrils are covered in hooked-like claws, making the Yama Kurai very intimidating. It's fitting seeing as the Yama Kurai are way more aggressive than the Yama Tsukami. Also, with the ability to inflict poison, paralysis, and sleep, the Kurai are extremely dangerous and best avoided at all costs. But getting back to the Yama Tsukami, it would seem some of the early designs for the Yama Tsukami lacks the moss and the plant life that he's known for today. In the book, Monster Hunter Illustrations, we can see concept art of what appears to be an early design of the Yama Tsukami. This early design is named the Gas Dragon, and along with its more octopus-like body, it also sports an elephant-like trunk right on the front of its face. It would seem that the Gas Dragon's head would expand as it inhaled the air around it. The Gas Dragon's belly would have glowed red as it heated the air stored inside of its large head. By heating the air inside of its head with the heat from its belly, it floats like a blimp. It can control the direction it travels by expelling air from the holes in its limbs. It can control how high it floats by expelling air quickly or allowing the air inside to cool. It attacks by completely engulfing its prey like a starfish. If it chews you, you will lose some of your maximum HP. Alongside the Gas Dragon, we also have concept art of something called the Tower Octopus. As we will soon see in its description, it shares quite a few characteristics with the Yama Tsukami. Aesthetically, it shares the overgrown mossy plant life on its body, along with 4 tentacle-like arms. Rather than whiskers, however, the Tower Octopus has what appears to be 2 large tusks. Taking a look at its design document, it reads,
"The towerfish eggs and cocoons are attached to the tower octopus's back by a silky mesh similar to a spider's web. This webbing ensures that the eggs and cocoon will not fall off when the tower octopus's body expands with gas. It is possible to destroy the eggs and cocoons with explosions. and possible even with melee attacks. Once the egg and cocoons are out of the way, it's possible for the player to attack the tower octopus's gas organs directly, and the more they attack the organ, the more serious the gas leak will become. The gas leak will heal over time, and will heal even faster if there are any surviving towerfish. If the tower octopus attempts to expand while there is a gas leak, gas is expelled from its back, resulting in an extreme fire hazard. If the player is using any source of fire, such as explosives and fire-based attacks, they run the risk of causing a massive explosion. The worse the gas leak is at the time of ignition, the more damage the resulting blast will cause. In most cases, any monster hunter caught on the tower octopus's back at the time of explosions will be thrown off its back. The tower octopus would also take damage from such an explosion, though it would not be lethal to the tower octopus. The tower octopus and tower fish have a symbiotic relationship. The tower fish feeds off of the unique plant life that grows on the tower octopus's back. The tower octopus offers the only surface upon which these specific plants will grow, since the plants require a mixture of sunlight and the tower octopus's gas in order to grow. In return, the tower fish cleans the tower octopus's gas organs.
In this final piece of concept art, we can see that the monster resembles the final design of the Yama Tsukami, with a little bit more overgrown mossy plant life on its body, still miles closer to the Yama that we have today. This leads me to believe that this is probably later in the designing of the Yama Tsukami. Moving on from concept art, let's take a look at the Yama Tsukami's in-game fight. The player encounters the Yama Tsukami on a map known as the Tower. In Monster Hunter DOS, the player would chase down the monster through the tower map, fighting it at different points with multiple phases. In Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, the fight was streamlined, and hunters only need to make their way to the top of the tower map. The Yama has a few notable moves, the most infamous of which is the inhale attack. The Yama will open up its mouth and inhale everything in its path. Be sure not to be swept up in this attack, because regardless of HP or defense, you will instantly die. There are a few ways to get around this, however. If the player has the ability Guts, when inhaled and spit back out, the player will be left with only 1 HP. It's also possible to block the inhale attack if the player has an ability called Guard Ink. When fighting the Yama Tsukami, its stomach will retract. This retracting stomach is an indication of the monster's overall HP. The monster's stomach will retract to the point of falling down. After falling down 3 times, its stomach will completely withdraw, and the Yama will die or be very close to death. Although you can't capture the Yama Tsukami, Trank Bombs can actually be one handy tool in this fight. Some attacks will leave the Yama Tsukami's underbelly exposed. This underbelly can be hit by Trank Bombs to stun or even make the Yama Tsukami fall down. Trank Bombs can even stun the Yama Tsukami while he's performing big attacks, such as the Inhaling Vortex. If we take a look at the Yama Tsukami's armor, we can see that it might be inspired by the Japanese gods Raijin and Fuijin, also known as...
So, this is famous Kaminari-man, yeah?
No, actually, this is...
Kaminari-man, impressive! Booyah!
Come on, help me out here, will you?
That one's man number 1, and that's man number 2.
Specifically, Karimari Man... specifically Fuijin. Fuijin is the Japanese god of wind, is always seen carrying a bag. This bag is often made of animal skin, and it holds the very wind. He can create anything from a light breeze to a large typhoon. Although it may be more likely that the armor is based on the Neo Guardians. The Neo Guardians in Japanese Buddhist mythology are protectors of the Buddhist faith. They make an appearance on either side of a temple gateway or entryway. The guardian on the right is called Kong. He holds a thunderbolt. With this thunderbolt, he's said to destroy evil. The guardian on the left side of the gateway is called Mishaku. The two are always depicted as gigantic figures, either with heavy armor or with naked chests and flowing scarves. The same flowing scarves we see in the armor design of the Yama Tsukami. If you didn't know, you can also carve a type of wood from the Yama Tsukami's body. The wood carved from the Yama Tsukami and used to make his weapons may also be a reference to Yama no Kami. Yama no Kami is the name given to a god of the mountains in the Shinto religion of Japan. These can be of 2 different types. The first type is the god of the mountain, who is worshipped by hunters, woodcutters, and coal burners. The second is a god of agriculture, who comes down from the mountain and is worshipped by farmers. This kami is generally considered to be a goddess or a female deity. The Yama Tsukami is truly a unique monster, something rarely seen in a franchise like Monster Hunter, filled to the brim with wyverns, beasts, and even dragons. It's the type of monster I would love to see come back to the franchise, something that we need in the newer generations. It's honestly a long time coming, and the Yama Tsukami is so many things. It's a god of the mountains. It's a home for great thunderbugs. And most importantly, it's a floating hentai monster. And that's the video. Seriously, thanks for watching. I super appreciate it. Make sure to leave a comment, press the like button, subscribe, do all that stuff, press all the buttons. It really helps me out. Still a new YouTuber, still trying to get some eyes on my channel, so all that really helps. If you really like this video, share it with a friend maybe. I don't know. Whatever you think. Yeah, thanks so much. And, all links in the description below. Check out the Discord. Would love to talk to you. Would love to have you in the Discord. And, yeah, have a great day. Bye.